Mic check 1 2. You know the fucking vibes. SquotaPodcast episode 3. Yeah, and I go by the name Stefano together with my host.
Yeah, Mushengo in the building, you know the vibes, man.
Chirol is here. Lovely to meet you all. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Tumeanza. So yeah, salimiana ama to just dive into the
Salimiani.
Sahi siku zuri. Unajua kuna demu mwingine anini
sidive in huko. Sidive in huko. Basi tuende tu.
Okay, for me, I've been good. Also, I'm saying thank you for the support you've had for us so far. So yeah,
Niko poa. Right now I'm rich, bro. Just
Rich
nipigie tu simu sahi. Just holler at me.
Angusheni namba zenye hapo kwa comments atatumia
Sawa.
kama
So episode ya leo ni today's episode is about we're going to list our top 5 managers of all times, no?
Yeah.
Of all time. So the criteria will start from 5th going up to first. We'll yeah, no, 5th.
Yeah.
fifth first.
So I'll start off. Chiranza. Yeah, number 5.
So me
No,
number 5 I've put Carlo Ancelotti. For me, I believe Carlo Ancelotti is my number 5.
Unasema na reason.
It's with reason. There's a lot. May believe he's my number 5. He's not the best, but I think he's done remarkably well considering all the teams he's gone to. I remember he's done it with Real. He's coached them well. He's won them Champions Leagues. He also won the Premier League with Chelsea. He did it. He's won the league with Bayern. So I mean, he's been to all leagues. He's done it in all leagues. So I believe he deserves that position. And yeah, I think it's deserved for him to be there. But he's not the best, in my opinion.
Okay, me for my number 5, I have Saman Jose, the special one. For me, he slots in there because the success he's brought in the different clubs he's played for, and also we saw with Porto what he did. It was an underdog team in the 3 or 4 season where they won the Champions League title. And what I like about Mourinho is his confidence in himself and his good management skills, which has been credited for by most of his players. Yeah, he's also set many records, and we remember how he went 9 years unbeaten at home since Porto until Real Madrid. He started his playing career isn't that much also recognized. He wasn't a great player, but when he came to management with Porto,
Manager.
yeah, okay, with Porto, he also went to Chelsea and 4 or 5, won them the league season there. He knows how to build a good defensive structure in his teams. So Chelsea considered only 15 goals in that season. They won the Premier League title. A record still held today, and also I think they managed to keep, I think 25 clean sheets here. So
Best defensive record.
yeah, best defensive record in the Premier League.
Why
Yeah,
do you put him solo?
and I've put him solo because okay. First, let me finish praising him first. Yeah, he went to Madrid. He set the record for most goals scored ever in a season in Europe. 121 goals scored in the 11-12 season by Real Madrid, with the likes of 121 goals scored 11-12, where they won the league.
Points ngapi?
They had 100 points.
100.
Yeah, they played back at 91 points that season.
Amesema the highest points ever recorded.
No, highest goals ever scored in a season. 121 goals scored with the likes of. He made the likes of Kedira and Ozil, the players they're known for today. I like the way he utilized Ronaldo and Benzema also in that squad, and I think that season was one of the highest scoring seasons Ronaldo has ever had in his career. But I've put him in. Okay, we also know what he's done at Roma. He won the Conference League. He also came back to Chelsea to win the league. But the reason I put him at 5th is because I don't so much like his style of play, because no longer like Mourinho. Sometimes he's a manager who prioritizes results over the quality of football. And for me, I love being entertained. And Mourinho doesn't have the most entertaining teams, but he does manage to get the results. So that's why I can put him at 5th.
Kusema treble season 2010 Inter.
Yeah.
That wasn't interesting.
Yeah.
Alitoa lakini alikaza.
Yeah.
Yo, Pep. Yeah, alitoa Barcelona.
Yeah,
Mm.
just in the finals.
Walipack
Yeah.
the Barcelona.
It was a good season, yeah, but I don't like how he implements the game. Though I like his confidence in his teams and his man management tactics. So yeah, that's why I put him in fifth.
Oh, my number 5 is Arsene Wenger. One, I know he's not achieved much in the European stage, kama champion, but it's because of this guy. We have the likes of Pep in the Prem right now, because he ended up influence your game in terms of in outfield, kama introduce sport science to the Premier League. Unaona? Kitambo players didn't sport science, kuna psychology pia introduced to the premiership na nutrition. It was strict introduction of foreign players nye at that time it wasn't iko natumika, so he influenced the Prem to become what the Prem is today, even though he did not have the budget. He financially wasn't that backed, but what he did, he's the catalyst of what Prem is at today. Yeah, I think he's the modern day Klopp. Klopp is the modern day Wenger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4, ama mimi nianze?
Yeah, we start.
Number 4, special
Then
one, Mourinho.
Mm.
Special, yeah. I ranked him fourth because I think Mourinho as a coach, Mourinho brings history to a team. He's a history maker. Because when I look at what he did at Porto, 2-4, beating Manchester United at the same to go to the final and actually winning the Champions League with Porto. That is history to Porto. When Abramovich took over Chelsea, he needed someone to make so that Chelsea can make a statement that they are a big club in England. Brought Jose Mourinho and he did it. I think he won the first ever Premier League for Chelsea.
yeah,
That's history to Chelsea. Then he went to Inter, treble,
yeah.
history.
But
The only
also
place, even in Real, the 100 points.
But also that for
Tule acha nimalize. The only place he did not make history or anything is Tottenham. The funny thing about Tottenham, he was sacked like only 3 days to a final. Yeah. And Roma, you see what he did in Roma, the first ever European title Roma's ever won. So he's a history maker. And also in Manu, he won the Europa League, the only manager to ever win the Europa League. Even though it's not a good record for a club like Manchester United, but also for me, he's a history maker kind of person. If you need him to do something, he does the job.
okay. For my number 4, I have Sir Bob Paisley by yeah,
Again, I'm sure.
Bob Paisley, the Liverpool great. For those who
Uh,
don't know, Bob Paisley is
I'm
a
sure,
Liverpool
I'm
manager
sure.
back in. He took charge in 1974 after Bill Shankly. No, the reason why I put Bob Paisley number 4 is the fact, actually, for those who don't know, he's the most successful ever English manager of all time. He won 20 honors in 9 seasons for Liverpool. Uh, the fact that also people also forget that for those who know the history of Liverpool, Bob Paisley actually, when you took over Liverpool, he didn't actually want to become a manager. He was an assistant for Bill Shankly for like 5 years, but then he was elected to take the job. But despite it, he took the job. He won 6 Premiership titles. He won the European Cup three times. He's only one of 3 managers to ever done it, beside Zidane and Ancelotti. So that's quite recommendable. Also for Bill Paisley, I think the way he brought the fans and the culture of the club, he epitomized the culture of Liverpool Football Club, and so that's also rank him one of the highest ever managers to ever come into the game. 20 honors in 9. That's not a joke. 20 honors in 9 seasons. Actually, I was reading a stat where it said he won honors at a rate of 2.2 per season, which is only better by Pep ever in history. So yeah, I also recommend, like, for those of you who don't know about him, just go and research about him, see his videos, and I bet you're going to appreciate him. Yeah.
Twende watch kitu ya black and white.
We should appreciate the history of football by the I don't feel by these days we don't appreciate the history of football as
I
much
think
as
I
we
think
do.
I think
Because as you can see by these days, the individual quality of football has gone down.
okay,
That's
football.
true.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
make it
true. Because
revolutionize.
let me tell you something. I can tell you right now to give me the top 10 players of all time.
Mm.
Let me tell you, apart from Messi and Ronaldo, who else are you going to put in that list who are currently playing football right now?
I bet
Maradona, De
skia.
Stefano, Zidane, who played long time ago. Individual qualities.
I bet Maradona angekuwa modern day kwanza kufanya vitu anafanya. Squeeze the game is more restricted.
Kuna system. Angekuwa better.
No, kuna system lazima ufuate.
Let me tell you why angekuwa better. Nikwambia first of all, pitch kitambo pitch ilikuwa mbaya. Pitch ilikuwa kama vile tulikuwa sana high school.
Bado alikuwa na nyasi.
Second of all, the health advancements, you know. Squeeze medical teams ziko, unapata msea anaweza pata injury kama like ACL after 9 months. Okay. But it take a longer time kitambo than these days. Technology will improve, but they are
But the game has changed.
Lazima irifo. Hata zibaki hivyo.
Look at players of today. At Rashford, at Sijui,
game in a die.
You see, you can't compare how someone used to play long time and how they play now. If you have to bring someone from long time now, do you really think they'll play well?
Tuambie kwa comment section. Skia.
Then why? Okay, why when are we listing the best players of all time? Why do we list the players of who are playing, the 1990s?
Because of the honors that they had.
Not because of the honors.
Did you watch any of their games?
You watch any of them.
One to highlights.
You only see the highlights. Highlights are normally the best parts of someone's game.
I've watched the games.
You've never sat down to analyze. You can't say how you'll analyze De Bruyne playing today is how you analyze how.
I've asked you guys a simple question about mjanijibu.
We have.
When you rank the top 10 players of all time, niambie players wenye anacheza saizi wenye atakuwa isipokuwa Messi na Ronaldo, niambie. Hapo then umkinijibu hiyo swali.
Mimi nina reason.
Niambie. Kunayo. Yes or no?
Maybe.
Kila Ramos is not even the top 5 best center backs of all time.
Kuna Maldini amecheza century. I mean the 2000 hakucheza like
not 2010 kwenda juu.
Alicheza like from 2000 juu. Sibora amecheza from 2000.
Anyway, let's continue the topic though.
See, talking about
Maldini isn't a current. It was the last time Maldini played a football game. Yeah? When the last time Maldini played a football game?
When was the last time Maradona?
Ndio komezaliwa.
2010.
Lakini ni jokes.
Unasema hivyo na kina Pele.
Amesema sijui manager wa 1974.
We continue the topic.
Bill Shankly. Mimi ni educator hapo.
Education is key, man.
For me, number 4, I went with Zinedine Zidane. I know it's controversial and that, but for me personally, I think he did well because he's like one of the few managers who was able to win the Champions League 3 times in a row. I don't think that's ever been done. He was also able to win the La Liga with them. He won the Super World Cup, but I think mostly he's well known because of his Champions League era. I think that's when he was able to bring out the best Ronaldo we've ever seen before. That time when Zidane was taking over.
Na Mourinho time, which was better, Mourinho time or Zidane?
I think Zidane.
I feel Mourinho's time was better because Ronaldo was more of an all-round player. Because at Zidane's when Zidane was manager, Ronaldo's work was more like of just finish but Mourinho is more involved in the game.
Yes. You see, he was more involved. That was the time that he was all round. But you see, where most guys fell in love with him.
No, that's because
that time
most of the guys talk to about football our age. So that's the time alianza kufuatilia ball more keenly.
I mean,
but like hadi ukiangalia stats ni team Mourinho ndio alikuwa
yes, he had better stats at that time.
But
Zidane was better because if you look at it, that's when you see, if you look at the Champions League runs, that's when he broke the record for the most goals in Champions League. That's when he helped them get to the Champions League. I think he was with them for all the 3.
Yeah.
Plus Ancelotti. And I think
of his European success, may believe he's one of my best. Because for you to do it in European, and the fact is, the games that he had weren't easy games. Because if you can try and remember, I think it was in the 15-16. They were facing 17-18. They were facing Atletico. He's the one who carried the team through, and that was through Zidane. Because Zidane. Like I'm talking about how Zidane was able to develop other players. How he's developed Ronaldo. How he also tried to bring in other people into because I think Zidane being the coach helped that best trio that we talk about, Casemiro. Also the midfield. Yeah, Casemiro, Modric and Kroos. I think if it wasn't for him, I don't think they would be
But
where they
do
are
you also
today.
feel like Zidane's success was much based on the players that he had, not actually the.
But you need
Man,
good
You see,
players.
you
need
see,
good
you can
players
talk about
to
at the
progress
players
success.
that
Porto
he
won the
had,
Champions League. When Mourinho won the Champions League with Porto.
but then also
All players
remember,
they need-
remember
I know they are good
Modric
players.
as he came to Real, he came in as the worst flop.
Yeah, but he came in at
He came in as the worst flop.
But
And
it's okay.
Zidane was able to transform.
But in Modric, you also feel like so he was actually bad. People started appreciating him later on in his career, like Busquets. Not that at alikuwa chini or anything.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, but you see, because of the improvement that he's being under the coach of coach.
Okay, but winning 3 Champions League.
Zidane, yeah, it's not easy to win,
But
and then
then
in a row. Considering
Yeah,
that,
in a
yes, he
row,
had a
in a row.
good team, but for you to
But
stay at that
Also,
level,
that time
Yeah.
also there was a lot of bad officiating by the refs.
Because-
They used to favor Real because that game of was it in the 16-17 season?
Yeah, you know, you do.
Bayern versus
Bayern.
Real Madrid.
yeah, that one. I
Now
can see.
Bayern you can afford to proceed.
Yeah, but
United
you see, that's why I don't know. You can say at times it's luck.
Yeah, okay, it's
They
like,
only-
They always say it's luck. There are
Sometimes
times
you need
that,
luck.
yeah, you just need luck to win these things. Because I mean,
Okay.
there are games you don't really need.
But me, I
to
feel
win.
Zidane hasn't stayed for in that managerial career for so long. It's so brief. So I think we should give him more time so that he
But
can.
I see the problem is he won't. I don't think he said he didn't want to come back to coaching anymore.
But
Yeah,
the decision-
so, I believe he should.
you also won
he's my number
how many
4.
league titles? I
He
think
won
two.
2. Yeah, he won 2 league titles.
I think
also.
unajua Ronaldo alishinda league titles mbili Real.
Mhm.
Wallahi,
9
Yeah.
11-12 na yeye Zidane.
na Zidane.
Yeah, na
Alafu
Zidane,
akataka.
alafu.
Yes.
Number 3 may go with the Don himself, Ancelotti, because these guys are 3 times or 4 times.
4 times.
4 time.
You see, he's supposed to have had the most right now.
Two na
Yeah.
Real.
2 la Real, 2
na
with
Real.
AC. 2 na Real, 2 na AC.
Eh,
AC alishinda ile 2
who?
05 or 6
I'm sure I think in 4 different decades, in 3 different decades.
3 but ameshinda 4 times.
But yeah,
4
Yeah.
times.
he's won twice in one.
Yeah.
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 He's a decorated manager by the way. He has won, I think, every apart from I think Everton and Napoli. What amazes me is you saw the run last season he had. I think that is one of the most difficult Runs
in
in the Champions League.
Knockout server.
That's you've ever
to come back, and in every game they had to come back apart from the final.
Yeah.
The PSG one where Benzema had scored a hat trick in the second half so that he could qualify. The quarterfinals they had to fight at Santiago, even though Chelsea had already come back. They had to fight to come back, and then City where they had a 1% winning
1%,
probability,
yeah.
and they actually did. And development of players like I think Rodrigo and Vinicius.
Yeah, they've all been under him.
Yeah, but I think Vinicius. No. But the development of Rodrigo and Vinicius, how he trusted him, how he's elevated Real Madrid basically, and when Real Madrid haven't won the Champions League for I think for so long, from 2002
Yeah.
till 24, he was brought in and they won. He resigned at PSG and won. He's a decorated manager. That's why I call him the Don. I respect him by there.
Okay, for my number 3, I have Sir Alex. Sir Alex, is like, when you think one of the greatest ever managers, you can't forget Sir Alex of that conversation. There's a fact also I was reading yesterday that the only final Real Madrid has ever lost ever, the only European Cup final ever lost is is against Aberdeen in, was it, I don't know which year, but it was during Ferguson's reign at the club. Aberdeen, which is the club he was managing before he joined Manchester United. And so I'm going to mostly talk about his time at Manchester United, where he spent 26 years. We all know the honors, 13 Premier League titles. He won 2 Champions League titles also, 27 Manager of the Month awards. So, yeah, I think 10 Manager of the Year awards. So, yeah, Ferguson, the honors he has them. And what I'd like to add is also like the way he brought up so many players and has influenced the game in so many ways. You saw the way he brought up the likes of Giggs, Scholes.
Class of 92.
Yeah, class of 92. He valued youth in the game, and which is I think also we can credit the way these youngsters these days are brought up by Ferguson, because the one who put emphasis on using the youth in today's game. I don't think he has so many seasons where he hasn't won a title. But yes, Ferguson for sure is one of the greatest ever managers, and I respect him. Though I feel the reason why I put him number 3 is because I feel he used to intimidate the refs a lot, which was something it's gonna feel like why, you know, because you all know the famous Fudge time where Rex. It's a fact by the games za Manu maref walikuwa naongeza time, extra added time than the allocated time. And this is because Ferguson used to like intimidating the refs. He's been fined a lot, by the way, because of that. And so that's why I don't know. Yeah, but
Fagi time ilikuanga. Fagi time ni ile tuko nafunga late as in during the game.
You know, Fagi time.
So time imeandika hapo 90 plus 3 alafu tufunge 90 plus 1. Yeye ni Fagi time sasa.
Time ilikuwa ni 90 plus 3. Tuna ili kwa Wikipedia. Okay guys, go and okay.
Umeandika Wikipedia isua ni msema Man City.
Anyway, refs actually ilikuwa kweli. They used to add extra time than the allocated extra time. So mimi niambie hiyo kama niko newa kama ni
you can't say all the time is because
all the time tumetukifunga Fagi.
No, but okay. Yes, he's been fined a lot because you're
Saadi basi ile classic 99 ile tulishinda ile ole alifunga.
I'm not saying all. I'm missing that. I'm not missing discredit on Azaki. Mimi nasema tu I don't like nimemeka at a lower, you know, pedestal because hiyo stuff like cheki kama panga tactics zako, acha timu yako iende.
Lakini unaisema ati yeye ana bribe kila kitu. That's all.
Yeah, but why was he intimidating the refs? What is the point of that?
See,
what's the point of that?
Is it really intimidating or he was just trying to express himself?
He's been fined a lot because he used to alikuwa anasema abusive words kwa ref. So
that nowadays.
What do you mean?
Umeisikia Pepa kitu si ref?
Huh?
Umeisikia Pepa kitu si ref?
Do you hear him talk?
Ferguson was actually fined. So niko kwa record books like actually fanya hiyo stuff. But anyway, I've come to praise Ferguson anyway.
Kutusi ref.
Yes, intimidating. Even you
no, look, put yourselves in the referee's shoes. Uko kwa game. It's a final, yeah? It's a derby.
What talk about
the fans? Yes, okay, any game then, any game. Let's say at home your game is called Trafford.
Bullshit, bro.
Your game is called Trafford. You're a referee. The fans already you guys mnawachingi but unajanga tu vile fans home fans wanatontingi ref akimbikingia a wrong decision. On top of that kuna Ferguson.
Send manager say usumbua.
Tulia.
How many times have you seen him on the crying or shouting? How come you get yellow cards?
This guy actually abused the ref. Sick shout abuse.
You think when a penalty is not given to your team, you think the manager just says, ref, it's tight. It's okay.
Nah, anyway.
So of course they'll shout at the ref. That's why they get the yellow card afterwards. That doesn't really, you can't really say that because of that. Because I'm sure right now, everyone, whenever they don't get the decision they want, they always shout at the ref. The ref has to take it to heart, and now he decides, do you want a yellow or red? You shouldn't, but that's what they do.
They shout at the ref. They shout. They don't abuse. Huyu jamaa alikuwa na abuse. Na anafainiwa yuko abuse. Yes, nasema, mimi semi kushout, nasema ku abuse.
Point of jamaa si valid kwangu.
I don't qualify it
for me. It's valid anyway. But also Ferguson actually is okay. I praise Ferguson a lot, but he's actually overrated. When I see people putting him as the best ever manager of all time, Ferguson actually let's enjoy Ferguson. Tukiendelea kwa his period in the Prem, ako number 1 for the most money spent. Like I did to in
26 years.
I did 26 years. Like I do kena kwa individual
seasons. Make like almost 10 seasons. Paper naingia
6 years.
Karibu imefika 1 billion. Almost
okay, anyway, mimi nasema hadi kwa individual seasons. This guy used to spend a lot of money on transfers. And
you spend money to
but I'm saying, I hate when Manchester United fans come on and ananiambianga ati Man City spend the most. But Ferguson come spend a lot of money, by the way. I didn't just inflation. We don't know, it's not even Simbali. Like you can compare it to even Pep's time at Manchester City. Now the thing with Pep, though I'll get into him later, Pep, most of his signings actually paid off. Look at Ferguson. Kuna many signings they pay off kama kina Anderson, kina
when all Pep signings
he has a higher success rate with signings than Ferguson for sure. That's one thing.
Anyway,
how many years?
No, but still.
How many years has he stayed at that club?
How many years has Pep managed?
6.
club, like one club. That
Me, I'm
club
talking
that's
to like all time. Adi Pep compared to make a Barca, Bayern.
Mpaka alikuwa only 2 seasons.
Anyway,
Point
yeah.
yako si valid. We team
Okay.
inacha tupe yake the third.
for me number 3. I know guys will get pissed, but for number 3, I've gone with Pep. For me, Pep, I think he's done quite well. He's been at Barca, he's been at Bayern, he's been at Man City. At Man City, he's already done four Premier Leagues. He's won the FA Cup. I mean the Carabao Cup like 4 times.
So for me, doubles.
The Carabao. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, the Centurions is actually the most remarkable because they can't do the Champions League. At Barca, I think
Anyway,
at Barca,
continue.
I think that was one of his best trains because that was in the 2009 season when he was able to do the 6-2 with them. He's one of the few managers, him and I think Hansel Flick. Yeah, they're the only managers who have been able to get the 6-2. So,
Ule manager before ashinda na Bayern.
nani?
Japan is
Japan. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I think it's quite remarkable to do that because he's been able to prove his worth in 3 different leagues. He's played quite well. I mean, he's coached quite well. I can't say about his playing career. I think just his achievements put him there, but I wouldn't really rank him that high because at City is where he's looked like he struggled the most, especially at the European stage. He's trying to put the results. This season they're doing quite well. We'll see what they'll do with Bayern, but for me, I can't put him higher because he's done it at Bayern and Barcelona, but City, he came, then they started crying about they needed a striker. Now they've gotten Haaland. So for me, I think if they're not able to,
and we're going to win the treble this season.
if they're not able to do it this season, then I don't think that Pep will ever get it because this is like his best in season, considering the squad he has. He doesn't have injuries, and his players are fit. Haaland is at his best. So if they don't get it, yeah, I don't think Pep will ever win with City, and we'll all take it to heart. But I mean, City just can't win Champions League, so there is no point. So I'm exhilarated once I hear my friend Wishu keep on telling me at City will win. He told me since from 1 here we are 5 years.
We're going to win the Champions League this season.
How much money they've spent, God knows. How many flops have come, God knows. How many years it has taken. I mean,
Don't make me angry, bro.
it's gonna reach
Don't
a
make me angry.
point. You'll be 8 years and
Don't
you'll
make me
still be
angry.
telling me the season is ours. So I
Here is
mean,
Ooze in fact. Ooze.
yeah, you know. Let me cook.
Let me talk. I'll talk.
Let me talk.
Nitaongea hii season ikiisha.
Let me talk. Yeah.
Na reply kwa hiyo season ikiisha.
Yeah, mark it. Because mark my word. No, let me not jinx it.
Yeah.
But let's see where City will go. But for
But
me,
you know how these guys are salty. The fact that we're talking about managers, this guy anaanza kuingilia City means this guy is wako jealous, but ni sawa.
see, I'm talking about his managerial career.
But
Am I?
Yeah, but
So
still-
that's the same way.
influence na
See,
City.
but talk mostly about Pep, not about City.
See, I've talked about how he's accomplished everything, but apart
But you're
from
talking
with
mostly
City.
about City. Wait, talk more
Talking
about
about
Barcelona, Bayern.
Sasha ongea.
Okay, sawa.
Bayern yako dear chief.
Bayern
Alikaa
he
like
didn't
2
really
seasons.
do. Yeah, Bayern he didn't stay for that long. Because Bayern, I
He
remember,
won 7 titles in 3 years at Bayern, so Messi mbona unasema
Kushinda
ana achieve?
European anything.
like
Bayern inafanyanga hivyo every
now you
year
see
in
Bayern.
year out.
You see, out of the 7, one is the league for sure. One is the League Cup. One is the DFB Polka. Those are already 3.
And
And he
Super
said for
Cup,
2
Super
seasons.
Cup,
That's
Madrid.
6. And then there's one other cup that he
He won
won.
this UEFA Super Cup. He also won the Club World Cup.
With
Yeah, Bayern. Yeah. Because he took over after your Champions League winning Sonia hapa against Dortmund.
Yeah, so you see, so it's not really that. You can't really count that of one of his best seasons. You'll compare that to the season at City.
Nah, but
at least they got a European Cup. I mean,
mi namba tangu ni Pep. Alafu tuongele tu sasa atashinda tuongele tu Pep. Jina wataka pia ni Pep.
Yeah.
But me number 2 is Pep. Pep I think is the modern day Fergie. With I want to thank him for revolutionized the Prem, whereby you can't win the league without attaining like 90 points. Where before you could, but right now you can't. It has changed the game right now you can't win the league with a 3-4-3 formation where you just what Mourinho did where you can't, you have to attack and win. And you can see the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal which are trying to do it this season. Yeah, he has some great moments. False nine, the false nine thing which is done with Messi, tiki taka, Barca time. He plays entertaining football. That one I won't lie, but yeah, he's a bald fraud at the end of the day.
Okay, now me my number 2 is Pep. Now let me tell you about Pep, my guys. Adi, he's supposed to be my number 1, but you'll know my number 1 later. Pep, first of all, for the record, in every team he's managed, any senior managerial career that he's had, he doesn't have a win percentage of less than 70% at Barca, at Bayern, and at the Premier League with Manchester City. You can see at his time in Barca, in his first season, 2008-2009, he won the treble in his first ever season. Bro, my guys, when niambie manager gani kama Pep? 2011 do yo.
Flick did it better.
Bro, Bundesliga. Let me finish talking about Pep. Let's get into Flick later. Mungeka Flick.
Flick hajafanya for so long.
Anyway, so Pep, with Pep at Barca, let me start with his time at Barca. He came in, he changed the club, he changed the style of play. They started playing entertaining football. We introduced tiki-taka. And the thing about like Pep is like his assertiveness. Recently we saw that he kicked out Cancelo because he didn't have a good attitude in the club. That's also what he did when he came with Barca. He removed Ronaldinho and Deco. He also wanted to remove Eto'o. But so as you can see with Pep, ana room because you can't let the ego of one player get to the whole team's mentality. That's what I also like about Pep. And with Barcelona, he's won so many. He's actually the most successful manager at Barcelona. You all know the great things he did. He won was it 2 or 3 La Liga titles in his time. He won 2 Champions League titles with Barca, which he dominated football. Nobody was close to Pep's Barca team. That's one you can say for sure. And he took a leave and came back to Bayern 13-15 season. And I don't get why people saying Pep's time at Bayern was a flop because he won 7 titles. Yeah, but people discredit this time at Bayern. And
Bayern, with Bayern, Kinyame achieve huko. Every other manager,
whenever a Bayern manager is put in, he's not put in.
Nagelsmann ajashinda Super Cup na Club World Cup.
Hiyo ni kitu.
You see, that was because of the other manager's success. That's now he had to come and be.
But ameshinda yes or no?
Okay, did Pep win the
Champions League? Question, ameshinda yes or no?
Did he win the Champions League there?
The Champions League, he should have won the Champions League, but in the 16-17 season, he was rigged out by bad referees. That game against Real Madrid in the semi-final, we all know what happened. Hiyo ilikuwa daylight robbery. Daylight robbery.
Pep was at City.
No, I mean, look, sorry for the facts there. But anyway, I'm saying, no, listen. Yeah, now with chest, Pep. But anyway, he won 7 titles at at Bayern, and he played good football, man. Like see, this guy's I think at his time at Bayern, I think he broke the records for most goals and also in a season. The points tally, those guys were achieving crazy records at Bundesliga, and so.
Expected from every manager who goes to Bayern always has one thing.
This guy is hate on Pep a lot.
No, I'm not hating on Pep, but
at this time at Manchester City.
At Bayern, every manager who's been put in, they're not being put in because of the league. The league is already automatic for them. Also, the caps are supposed to be automatic.
Okay, then where was Nagelsmann sacked, Josie?
Right now?
Yeah, because he was still in the Champions League with Bayern.
Because he's struggling.
But you're still in the quarterfinals. Bayern this season is considered the first goals in the Champions League in the campaign so far. So it's someone who's struggling in the Champions League. And you're sacked because of the league performance. So it's my Bayern coach and told you to a Champions League. Also, league being a determining factor. kama atabaki ama ataenda.
Yes, but that factor isn't as major as the Champions League.
But the Nagelsmann wouldn't have been sacked if that was the case.
But then they don't also throw the cup.
Now
the
look.
league.
With Pep now at Manchester City,
Okay.
in the 16-17 season, which is the only season ever he's ever gone without winning a trophy. But you know what he did? He brought the likes of Gundogan from Dortmund, Sane from Shackle, and he transformed these players. I am not German, bana tulia.
Shackle.
In Kenya, like the signings he brought, despite people saying that he spent a lot on transfers, but I think with most of his transfers actually paid off. We've seen Ruben Diaz from Benfica and Ederson. We've seen with Bernardo Silva from Monaco. He actually has a tendency to make good players into great players. And so when he came into City, that's what he did. He brought KDB, who's the greatest ever player in the Premier League ever. Next season, in the 17-18 season, where we finished with 100 points, the first ever club to do so in the Premier League. And we broke so many records in the process. We broke the most consecutive away wins, the most away wins, the best ever goal difference with 79. We left Manchester United with 19 points, which is also a record. We broke the records for most goals scored. So, you can't come in the Prem and break all these records, and people also, put you down like these two who are actually doing right now.
We're not putting you down.
No,
Let me finish.
I left to finish. Nilikuwa tumalize. So all I'm saying is Pep is and also the way he brought to the game the use of the false nine, where he used it at Barcelona with Messi. He also used it at Manchester City when Aguero was injured. He treated so many players in that false nine position like Foden, also De Bruyne, also Bernardo Silva. And so I liked how he made City play attractive football and how he's changed the club. And I know for sure that this season we're going to win the Champions League. This season we're going to win the Champions League title. Yeah, thank you.
For my second, I'm going with the man, Sir Alex Ferguson. During his time, even though the times are not the same as right now, I think he did well, because for you to achieve 13 Premier League titles with someone like Arsene Wenger in the same league, I think he did remarkably well. Considering that time, in my opinion, I believe that football was quite hard, because the points, guys couldn't attain more than 80 points at that time. Yeah, guys couldn't attain more than 80 points at that time. Yeah, I'm like mathematically, guys, the highest, if you look at that time, it used to be around 78. Around 82.
The highest points, Ferguson ashaishinda nayo Prem 89.
Yeah, 89. Right now, in the past few seasons, Pep and Klopp have been pacing each other out.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. The teams have been.
It's not about the
quality of the team, because look
how the league has become.
Not about the like
achieving 90 points. Achieving 90 points to 80, which one is harder?
You guys, you can't just come and say it because this team accumulated this number of points because now it's harder. Angalia the season throughout, angalia the teams that they are playing, angalia the level of competition in the league.
There was no competition.
We've got 80 points.
Competition
all
other games.
How is that competition if Man City are always going? Every small team, you're beating 6-0.
You can't say there's no competition. You guys literally
had
97 points in the league. So don't say there's no competition.
The competition
you guys have 97 points.
Two teams have 90 and the next team
but
have
also
70.
Look also
there's a competition. It's between two people. It's a two-man race.
Also, then Manchester United's time, bro. It was only Arsenal and Manchester United going for the league. Liverpool weren't good in the league.
Champion title race now between two teams. Akuja iko na 4.
Arsenal iko kwa title race saizi.
Na Man City 2.
They only two teams. Right now,
don't blame me because Manchester United is ass.
Jamaa amesema sasa ati hiyo time ya Fergie ilikuwa tu Arsenal.
Yeah.
But nasema
kulikuwa Chelsea. Una point yako ni ati alikuwa na easy time.
Once we were in Chelsea also iko na contend for the title.
Ancelotti alishinda na alishinda Prem na Chelsea.
Like mimi nasema hiyo season ile hiyo period ya before 2010 between 2000
alitoka alishinda tu
nani?
Mourinho alishinda 2 times in a row. And then like don't like
that's the only time.
Alafu Ancelotti alishinda. Una facts.
Yeah, lakini before 2010
si ilikuwa the last time ilikuwa like 2009 or 2007. Alafu ndo
mlishinda.
I think tukaenda 3 times hiyo nini.
Or 6 or 7 or 7 or 8
Tukaenda
or 8
3
or 9.
times, yeah.
Look, 3 times in a row. Actually, Nojadi huyu jamaa anajicontradict. Wananisha na Premier League 3 times in a row. Hakuna 3 times bro. How?
Si nyinyi mmefanya
Ilikuwa
4.
aje rahisi?
Mmefanya
You
4.
three
Mmefanya
times.
4
How many-
in 5.
how many- how many in a row have we done?
5.
2 in a row, not 3.
4 in
2 in a row.
But 4 in 5.
4 in 5.
4 in
3 in a
5.
row.
4 in
4 in
5.
And you
5.
guys 3 in 4, but 3 in 4, same logic, 3 in 4.
4 in 5.
3 in 4 is not a difference.
Ndio hakuna difference. Sasa wewe
So
unajipata
no,
hata
then don't bring the fact
team.
that at Manchester United won the league in a harder time. The
Ilikuwa-
league was harder during Manchester City's
Kulikuwa
time.
competition, hakuna
Competition is-
competition wa top 6.
Ana-
Hadi
ana-
unajua
sasa
competition wa top 6.
compare
Hakuna
Spurs hiyo time na compare Spurs.
Spurs imeachieve nini niambie?
Compare Spurs hiyo kina
Spurs
Klopp.
imeachieve nini hiyo time yote?
See, but nasema
Hadi-
walifika final ya Champions League.
pekee. Alafu Spurs
Okay,
imefika Champions League
okay,
final.
between Spurs hiyo time ya Ferguson na time ya Pep.
Wamefanya nini?
Which Spurs is
Wame-
better?
Kuanza tu number 3.
You know, answering my question though, between Spurs hiyo time ya
This one for
Ferguson
now.
na Pep Guardiola, Spurs saizi. Sawa.
Which one is better?
Which one is better? This one for
Wait,
now,
one
that
by
one
one,
for Sir
one by
Alex.
one, one by one,
Okay,
one by one.
which one is better?
Liverpool, Liverpool. Between your Ferguson and the time.
Sinikas times have changed. So that's why
Teams
kulikuwa competition last game ilikuwa
more
ngumu.
harder.
It was harder and more physical.
Yeah,
There was no
because
hakuna
if you think of
VAR.
If you think of
Yeah, okay. If you bring physicality, a game is more harder when it's more technical than when it's more physical.
It was both.
also if you think about it, that whole time, look at the like. Man U-
Ukiangalia siku hizi ma red cards zinapewa, they're so petty.
Like you
Unashangaa.
can't say ati all of the red cards at here.
Cards.
Huh?
Not being about it, sell them one red cards.
Squeezy.
But still, for
Point taken
me,
in value.
I think- yeah, I think
So-
Alex did well because he was able to take Man U, to the Champions League final. They were able to win it with him twice, despite them losing to Barca, which was one of the best teams at that time. I think they did quite well in his time. He was able to bring up players, and then also on Misho's point about the youth, I think Ferguson established.
See,
this
he's always
team.
thinking about Pep, man.
Ferguson was able to bring out the best in youth because there's this other thing I saw that Ferguson never used to condone how the youth would like take part in such bad things in this, like in the media showing themselves and all those things. He liked the players being disciplined, and that's why I think youngsters of this age right now are starting to fall off because they think that once they get the money they can do it all. But I think it's the coaching.
Discipline.
Yeah, I think he's coaching because I remember there's one which Ronaldo came into the locker room angry and actually threw a shoe at him because of how he was
Alitupia
acting.
Beckham.
Yeah, also Beckham. So
Yeah,
I
true.
think how strict he was with his team, the discipline that he instilled in them, I think that's why he's one of the best because I think his core value always used to be discipline, and I think that's why he achieved his title. So
Is it number one?
he's my number 2.
Oh.
So number one ni Sir Alex.
Hmm?
Number 1, Sir Alex, the great. I think why he's edged out Pep is, I think one thing I want to credit him is development of youth. He used the Carrington academy players more than Pep. Hadi unajua. I think hapo edge, but with time, if Pep continues, I think he will eventually yeah. For now, my respect for Sir Alex is the reason why I'm a Manchester United fan. The 13 Premier League, whatever, yara. Yeah.
So, me, my number one is, Johan Cruyff. The great Johan Cruyff. There's nobody who has had much influence into the game as Johan Cruyff.
Klimoja and Cruyff.
Yeah, now it's not actually you get about Johan Cruyff, first of all. We all know his playing career. He won 3 Ballon d'Ors. So 9 Eredivisie titles. He reached the final of the World Cup in 1974 with the Netherlands. So we all know about his playing career. But now about his managerial career, when he took over Ajax in, was it 1984, if I'm not wrong. So, he came into the club and what he did, he changed the way they played. He brought the total football into the club, which is basically a system of free-flowing football and entertaining football. He's once quoted as saying that results without quality is boring, and quality without results is pointless. So with Cruyff, all his teams, I like the game he implemented and the way he made football to be entertaining with Ajax. He wasn't as successful as with his managerial career at Ajax, but the way he changed the structure of the club and the way he brought actually the academy, he actually founded the Ajax academy during his time as a manager, and also then he came into Barca. He won 4 league titles in a row, despite and also have to take the fact that before this, Real Madrid have won the title 5 times in a row. So for him to come and do that, that's actually quite remarkable. He won the European Super Cup, and they also brought the famous Dream Team of '92, being led with the likes of Koeman, Romario, and Pep Guardiola then in the midfield, who are actually the backbones of this team. So with Cruyff, the reason I've put number one because the way he's influenced the game. With he's also recognized as being also during his time at Barca uniformity in the training sessions where the youth teams and also the senior team used to train like in a systematic way. They also have the same training sessions, with the render sessions, and everything was in uniform. They also brought out the La Masia Academy, which is so famously known today for bringing out good players. So I love the way he changed the modern game, and football wouldn't be as it is today without Johan Cruyff, and that's why I've put number one. He's influenced so many great managers like Pep, and Johan Cruyff is my number one.
For me, I think my number one is Jurgen Klopp. I'm joking. My number one is Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho. Because for me, I think he's one of the most decorated guys ever to coach. The fact that he was able to do it with several teams, apart from Tottenham, I think he's done it with all the teams that he's ever managed. He's done the Champions League with Porto. No one ever thought he could do that. He's done it with Inter. He's done those 2 Champions League. He's won the Premier League with Chelsea. That's something that they needed as a statement because of the bringing in of the new management, as well as it. I also think how when he was at Real during the time that Barca and Real used to fight out for the league, he was able also to win it, but he won it at both clubs, which is contradictory. But I think his managerial career as a whole is just something you look at and just be amazed at, because for you to win all those titles, and despite him not having an attractive way of playing, he still knows how to get the job done when it needs to be done. And I think that's the most important thing a manager needs. So I would consider him as my number one. Yeah.
Umemaliza?
Imeisha hivi.
Sasa bebe
Seme like others.
others
Like other people who should have been in the list. Ama tukate.
others nini?
Jamadi anachezanga wapi?
For me, I would say, okay, though I don't see him getting into management, but KDB or Modric because of their football IQ and their understanding of the game. So, yeah.
No.
These shit players no.
Me, I think it's normally most of the tacticians of the managers, they always want to manage. I don't see an attacker trying to do such a thing. But it might not be right now, but may think I know he's already started managing, but may believe in future company will be one of the best managers, because if you see or like right now, okay, what?
He's selling good.
Yeah, he's trying to.
Sema tu midfielder tu yote bro.
See what?
Discipline and captain.
Maybe someone like it's quite a hard question. Actually, we should ask the audience.
Ambia tu
Ndika hapa kwa comments, would you feel like will be a future good manager who's currently playing? Yeah. Thank you.
And pia big shout out to our director to afanya kazi safi. Nilikuwa nafaa kumpiga shout out like sawa. Mtu afinyapo button ya cheer. Big shout out to Kitum.
Maliza.
Tulisema outro ni
Okay,
moja.
ingine I just want to say that pia muende mtufollow hapo kwa TikTok, also Instagram, Twitter, Squota. Wewe search to Squota utapata, na thanks for the support kwa your latest reel. We have like more than 1,000 views currently, and it's yeah, so thanks for the support here.
Road to 100 subscribers.
Bana mfikeni so
bad.
bana yani
Watu wanataka
saizi
chenga
tu
na sisi tunataka
sasa
tu.
najua kuna watu wanaona hii video na haja
Haja
subscribe,
subscribe.
like finya tu subscribe tu, hautakufa,
It won't hurt.
you hurt, but yeah, thank you.
It's the Hyperman set. AJ Tracy live and direct. DJ mash up the deck. The microphone champ is live and direct. And again, it's the Hyperman set. AJ Tracy live and direct. DJ mash up the deck. The microphone champ is live and direct. Said Bubble, vibes in that. Cruise like a 4-wheel driving that. Tech time, everything's live in that. My car AJT's on the mic and that. I said Bubble, vibes in that. Cruise like a 4-wheel driving that. Tech time, everything's live in that. My car AJT's on the mic and that.
Myself like you